Shabbat Shalom, and welcome back to another episode of Torah Study in Minutes with Sommyart. It's been a while. Today we will be talking about Parashat Naso, and joining us for this discussion is Mr. Josiah.
So, let's begin with the word Naso. It's often translated as to count, but you could also interpret it as to lift up. And in this parasha, we witness the Levites being counted, each one given a specific role in the tabernacle. It's not just numbers, it's about recognizing purpose.
Right, and it's fascinating how the Torah goes into such detail, assigning tasks, lifting individuals, like every single person matters. It's like they're saying, hey, you belong here. It is so...
Exactly. And isn't that such a profound message for, any community? Everyone being seen, everyone valued. When I first read Naso as a teenager, I remember being struck by this idea. You see, I wasn't the loudest kid in the room, I was quite the opposite actually, but reading this gave me a sense that even the quietest voices have a unique purpose.
That's such a big takeaway. I mean, think about it. How easy is it to feel invisible in a crowd? But here, the Torah is reminding us that no one's just a number.
True. And more than that, it's not just about individuals being counted, it's being trusted with responsibility. The Levites, for instance, they weren't merely laborers, they carried profound spiritual roles, bridging the people and the divine presence within the tabernacle. It's humbling, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. And honestly, it's kind of wild how relevant that still feels. Like whether it's in a spiritual space or a creative team, when someone recognizes what you bring to the table, it changes everything.
It does. But recognition without true understanding can feel hollow. And that perhaps is where spirituality elevates this principle. It's not just, what can you do? It's who are you called to be? The Levites weren't chosen randomly. Their roles connected deeply with their heritage and calling.
I love that, being recognized not just for what you do, but for who you are. It's such a shift when you think about it. Like if we all looked at each other that way, that'd be something else.
Indeed. And isn't it amazing that even in a text spanning thousands of years, this lesson still resonates? Perhaps being counted, being seen, it's one of the most fundamentally human experiences, something we all crave, whether we admit it or not.
Yeah, for sure. And it's such a simple thing, but man, does it carry weight, like a community recognizing you, trusting you. It's powerful.
And it all begins with a deeper call to see ourselves as part of something bigger. Just as the Levites were entrusted with the sacred, so too are we, in our own unique ways, called to step into meaningful roles. And when we think about what truly builds a strong and trusting community, it's not just about being seen or valued, it's also about the willingness to take responsibility when things go wrong. And that's where confession, restitution, and reconciliation come in. The Torah, especially in Parashat Naso, frames these acts not as burdens but as opportunities for healing. It's not just about owning up to wrongs, it's about rebuilding what's been broken and restoring the trust that binds us together.
Yeah, it's so practical too, like the idea of making things right. It's not just a spiritual concept, but something you can actually do step by step.
Exactly. It's as if the Torah doesn't just point out the problem, it shows you a way forward. Confession becomes the first step, a moment of honesty, of facing the truth. But what comes next? Restitution, taking responsibility and offering amends. It's such a simple idea, yet
so hard to do sometimes, right? Like admitting you messed up is one thing, but then actually making it right. Phew, that's a whole other level.
It is. And if you think about it, restitution doesn't just benefit the person wronged, it frees the one who initiates it too. There's healing in taking accountability. And that idea of repair, it's at the heart of reconciliation.
Totally. This reminds me of something from my university days. So I had this one friend, we weren't really friends at the time, more like classmates who didn't get along. One day I made a comment about him kind of behind his back, and it got back to him.
One of those moments.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there feeling terrible, and I just kept thinking, do I let this fester or do I own up? Eventually, I just went up to him and apologized. I told him what I said, why it was wrong, and honestly, it wasn't easy.
I can imagine. What happened next?
He looked at me kind of surprised, and then he said, "Gee, thanks for saying that. It means a lot." And that moment changed everything. We actually became close friends after that. But you know what stood out to me? It wasn't just the apology, it was his response. Like, forgiveness really does complete the cycle.
That's such a powerful example, Josiah, and it really brings out the essence of what the Torah teaches here. Confession, restitution, and reconciliation. They're not just about making others feel better, they're about transforming the people involved, creating stories like yours, Josiah, remind me of the depth and purpose within the words of the priestly blessing from Parashat Naso. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift his face toward you and grant you peace. It's such a short blessing, yet it carries so much weight, almost as if it's a blueprint for the reconciliation and peace we've been talking about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's poetic for one, but also practical. It's like this roadmap for a leader's heart: protection, grace, and peace. That's leadership done right.
Exactly, and notice how it places peace, shalom, at the center. In the Torah, peace isn't just the absence of conflict, it's about wholeness, completeness. And real leadership, I think, aims for wholeness, whether for one person or an entire community.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting that leadership starts with service, like the tribal leaders in this parasha bringing their identical offerings to the dedication of the altar. They weren't competing, they were uniting.
That's such an important point, Josiah. Each offering was described in detail, even though they were all the same. Why? Because the Torah is teaching us to see beyond the surface, to recognize the heart behind the action. True leadership isn't about standing above, it's about lifting up others.
Exactly. And honestly, that feels so relevant today, whether you're leading a team, a family, or just your own journey. It's about purpose, not power. It's about, using what you have to make a difference.
Yes, purpose over power. That's a lesson the Torah instills over and over. And as the priestly blessing reminds us, it's not about what you achieve for yourself. It's about what you impart to others. Blessing, grace, peace. Those are the hallmarks of timeless leadership.
Couldn't agree more. And it's also a challenge, right? To step up, to lead with integrity, and to keep those values alive in everything you do. But man, is it worth it?
It is. Leadership isn't always grand or public. Sometimes it's as simple as showing kindness, choosing peace, or lifting someone else's spirit, because every action, no matter how small, matters. Beautifully said, Josiah. And with that, dear listeners, we've reached the end of today's journey through Parashat Naso. I hope these reflections spark something meaningful for you as you walk through your own path this week.
Thank you for tuning in and being part of this conversation. Remember, your insights and actions matter, every single one of them.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Walk in truth, walk in light, and as always, keep lifting your purpose.
Now, if you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Let's do this again next week. Shabbat Shalom.